Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Terri Mead, and today I've got all sorts of furry creatures and a child around me, and hopefully they're not overly distracting. Anyway, so I was going to record on a certain topic around white man rage, but I'll save that for next time when I have more time to put my thoughts together. But today I got an email from someone I don't know who read the book, and the book really resonated with her. And one of the questions that she had for me was around any sort of suggestions I might have to make it easier or to make it so that she can have conversations with her husband about what she's going through in midlife. And my initial response was like, I don't know how to answer this. My husband and I are still trying to figure out how to have these conversations. And so I thought, well, why don't I go ahead and ask Zeke what he would suggest? So we had a few moments of a conversation where we both agreed that we're still trying to figure it out. In my earlier 40s, when I had no idea what was going on, I really was not equipped to have any sort of conversations with my husband. And it was only in researching for the book, Piloting Your Life, that I even understood what it was that I was going through, that I wasn't the only one. And you know, as I was researching, I would bring up conversations with him and we would talk about it. If I'd had the book or if I'd had this information in my early 40s, then as I was exploring each of the topics, as I learned about them, I would be able to raise the issues or raise the conversation topics, probably at the dinner table where we raised all sorts of different topics while our kids were growing up and while both of us, me and my husband, were both in our early 40s. I think it would have been really healthy for our relationship had we known all of this and had we been able to have these conversations, because I think both of us have been a little lost over the last 10 years as both of us have been going through our own midlife transitions. So what I suggested to her, and once again, I'm not a life coach, I'm not a therapist, so this is really based on what I've been doing with my husband and also what I wish that I'd been able to do with my husband had I had this information earlier, is once again, as I came across a topic, be able to raise it and say, hey, you know, I learned about this and I realized that this is something that I'm experiencing or I'm struggling with this, and this is how I feel about this, or this is what I'm worried about. And then that would allow us to have hopefully an open and really kind of deep conversation to really connect on whole new levels. The good news is that at this point, even though we are both, well, he just turned 50 and I'm almost 50, we are getting better at being able to have these kinds of conversations. And my hope is that as our kids need us less and as we are moving into the next decade of our lives and the next stage of our relationship, that we can trust each other, we can be vulnerable with each other, and we can actually share these kinds of, we can share information around these types of conversations to really be very supportive of each other. My fear is that if we are not, then as soon as Ray is off to college, then, you know, our relationship goes kaput. But I'm optimistic and we have a really solid foundation and we're both committed to this relationship. So we are able to bring these up. But once again, I don't know where this woman's relationship is. I don't know how they're able to talk, what their opportunities are. So it was a little bit tough to respond, but I did let her know that I thought it was a great idea for a YouTube video to talk about that this is something that's really important, and it's so critical during this time that if we can't talk to our significant others about what we're going through and our fears and our hopes and the transition and all of the juicy goodness and challenges that come out of it, that we can, what we'll do is we'll grow further and further away from our significant others as we are pursuing whatever that path is. And my hope is that although actually, to be honest, not everybody's going to make it through this. Not all marriages are going to make it through. I know of a couple people who in their 40s, women have pursued what it is that they wanted to do, to have greater meaning in their life, greater purpose, and just greater fulfillment, and have stopped being of service to everybody else and putting themselves last. And not everybody goes along with that, and not everybody's comfortable with that. And sometimes relationships and marriages end as a result. I've been kind of coaching a friend of mine through that and encouraging her, because I see the juicy goodness for her on the other side. And initially it's a little bit painful. In fact, it might be painful for a long time, but I have confidence in her ability to find the right path for herself. I didn't mean to go to such a negative point, but I think that's the reality, is as we are going through these transitions, not everybody's going to be able to support us in the way that we need to, but having open conversations and being able to be honest as we express our fears and our hopes and our dreams and all of the, and I love calling it the juicy goodness that goes around with it, that somehow we can build greater connections with each other. So I hope that's helpful for some of you who are wondering, how do I talk to my significant other about this? If you have other suggestions, please put them in the comments below. And I don't think I have any links. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate any and all comments that you provide below. And remember, take some risks, let go of perfection, and above all else, have some fun.